Okay, we're back with our fifth exercise. It's the push-up. You know, it's one of those things that people think, oh, it's just a push-up, it's not that big a deal. A push-up is a great strength-building exercise, and people often don't do it very well. So I want to teach you some things to think about as you're doing your push-up, so that we do it right, so that we get the most out of it. It may seem like it's silly to do all these things, but it's really important to structure it this way. And it takes a little bit longer to get good at them, but once you do get the movement down and you do it properly, your ceiling is going to be much higher for building strength and maintaining a good spinal segment, good integrity within your trunk. So it looks, I mean, everybody knows what a push-up looks like. I end up on my hands and feet, I lower myself down, and I push myself back up. What is not often talked about is the fact that you should be a plank as you're moving. I don't want to see any spine movement, zero, okay? So we're going to practice the push-up with a hard-style plank like we did in the first exercise of this series. When we did the hard-style plank, contracting everything from the neck down as hard as possible. I'm pulling my hands down or my arms down into the ground, activating my lats, my abs, my quads, my glutes. Everything's really tight, so I'm a nice plank, which is very, very stable. Okay, so I'm going to plank for about 3 seconds, just really hard, and then I'm going to lower myself down. My chest should be the first thing that touches the ground. A lot of people will find that their hips touch the ground first, or that they're looking up, or there's a lot of things that happen. So I'll demonstrate what it should look like. So starting off the same way. Again, this may seem silly to go over it in such detail, but I think it's really, really important to do it properly. So I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to be kind of in this position, my knees extended on the ground behind me. I'm relaxed here. I like to really emphasize what's called a posterior pelvic tilt. So taking the arch out of your back, so making your back go this way. That helps me maintain my core a little bit better. I just get a little bit tighter when I can do that. Okay, so I tilt my pelvis that way, and then I lift my knees off the ground. Squeeze my quads, my glutes, my abs, and then I'm pulling my hands towards my feet. I'm basically trying to fold in half. One extra thing on that is I'm also kind of screwing my hands into the ground. What you can't see because my hands don't move, I'm twisting from my shoulders are engaged, my elbow pits face forward, and I'm creating a lot of stability in my shoulder. If I let my shoulder out, I get a really loose joint, and some bad things happen when I try to move in that position. So I want to create a lot of stability by screwing my hands into the ground. So once I screw my hands into the ground, I plank up, I lower myself, I try to keep my elbows tucked and my chest touches the ground, and then I simply push up. I say simply, but it's not simple for a lot of people. We need to have this control, and it takes a while to build the strength and the ability to maintain that throughout a movement. If you have a hard time pushing up with your knees off the ground, what I think you should do is still go through the whole thing. I'm planking, squeeze glutes, quads, abs, lower yourself until your chest touches the ground, and then I'm going to drop my knees. When I drop my knees, I kind of disengage. I need to re-engage before I push up. So I'm going to drive my knees into the ground. I'm going to crunch my abs, so I'm pulling my ribs towards my hips, and then I'm going to push up. What I don't want is pushing up from here and getting a lot of extension through my lower back. That's going to cause you some issues down the road. If you have a hard time with that even, just practice your planks for a while. Both push-up position, hard style position. If you get this strong, your push-ups will improve. If you can learn how to engage your trunk, your push-ups will improve. Okay, so give those a try.